Felicia,
Yes.
I'm going to tuck you in for night-night. You ready?
Aw, thank you, Elaine.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a little story to help you fall asleep?
I'd love to hear a story.
Okay, close your eyes. It's dark.
Jesus.
You hear a single drip, like you're in a cellar. You put your hand in front of your face and you can't see anything, and suddenly you hear the thrumming of a million little feet, it sounds like, coming towards you.
Huh.
And suddenly, there are hands. Hands on your arms, on your feet. So many. And you're like, what? And then in your ear, someone goes, Oompa, Loompa, Doompa Dee Dee. And you are lifted from your cot, taken
like
through the
this
sewer.
almost sounds like an erotic story. Like it like a little bit, not a lot,
Wow.
but a little bit. Like one of the
Oh.
scary erotic stories. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Man, I'm so glad I hit that niche genre of scary erotic Wonka stories. Check that one off the list. Okay,
There's
here,
a
I'll make
shocking
it
amount
less.
of them on
I'll try to
Amazon.
make it less sexy. You are you're on a bed of cotton candy,
Oh,
and you're floating in a cloud. We're not thinking about how sticky your hair probably is, how uncomfortable it is, the physics, the impossibility. But these are your dreams. And as you're floating on your cotton candy cloud, you look below and you see a river that's brown. And at first you think, fuck, pollution. But then you get closer and you see a little red fish hopping in the chocolate river, and you go, oh, yeah, it's chocolate, I guess, and that's a Swedish fish. Oh, there's candy everywhere. And you're floating continually on the cotton candy cloud, which I forgot to say, it's whatever color you want it to be. Cotton candy can be so many colors. And as you...
you're putting yourself to sleep. You're putting yourself to sleep with this story.
So, a full disclosure, this is the like beautiful timing of us doing this episode is that I have had 4 hours of sleep. My body did not want to go to bed last night. I've done a full work day. And here I am. And that actually... Oh God. That actually did that was very soothing.
So instead of listening to a story, you just need to tell yourself stories about Wonka to fall asleep.
My roommate will be like, I heard voices last night. And I was like, oh yeah, I tell myself bedtime stories, which is a little sad. Oh, Felicia, I hope you have nice, sweet dreams from my beautiful, pretty little story.
Yes. Thank you. Hopefully this time my car will remain on the road and and not swerve into oncoming traffic as they're up to doing their
this
dreams.
while you're driving or operating heavy machinery. That includes KitchenAid mixers.
Yes.
Hot take. Now, the reason why I did that is because today we're covering a wild, modern Wonka happening.
It's new.
It's
new,
fresh.
It's fresh. It's hot off the presses. We got
2022
a new Wonka on our hands.
It's
little to no fanfare. No one has really said anything about this.
No.
I had to figure it out myself. And that's today. We will be covering Charlie and the Dream Factory, a Calm sleep story. You guys know the app Calm. It's probably been advertised on other podcasts. I think they're one of the ones that do
They're
sponsors.
around. Yeah, it's like you either have Headspace or you have Calm. You know? Yeah.
We're not sponsored.
And we're not.
I
Calm.
didn't end up paying money for this. Actually, I didn't. But I did accidentally buy a $40 subscription for a year on accident. And I did get a refund from Apple. So thanks for that, guys. I think I might just still have access to it though, which was good. So I was able to listen to the sleep story. So this is the first in a line of Roald Dahl inspired sleep stories from the app Calm. So Calm, let's place this real quick. Calm is an app that we're telling you stories to go to sleep. The stories are like intentionally kind of boring. They're kind of dull. You know what I mean? They're not very interesting. So I was like, I don't know if there's going to be enough meat on the bones. I think there is. I think there's enough for us to dissect. but it's not like crazy. It's very calm for a Wonka media, as it should be, you know?
How refreshing. I'm so excited to well, there goes that 4 hours of sleep, brain functioning. I'm excited. Period. Yes. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you about Wonka Watch. My name's Elaine. That was Felicia. Is Felicia. And will continue to be Felicia. And this podcast is about two people who didn't think they gave any cares in the world about the Wonkaverse, and then we learned there's a prequel in the making starring Timothy Chalamet, and we were like, that's really fucking weird. And so we are counting down until the day of that prequel release, talking all things Wonka, past, present, and future.
Yes. And before we jump right into Dreamland, oh my God, floating in on a cotton candy cloud. What's this? It's a newspaper. It's this week's Wonka Watch, where we cover the latest and greatest in Wonka news. And we have something this week, folks.
Back-to-back news?
Back-to-back news.
My God, I'm still recovering from my screech of fickle grubber.
We finally got a statement from Mr. Keegan-Michael Key.
Woo!
So the Hollywood Reporter asked Keegan-Michael Key some questions after Timmy's Vogue profile. They saw him on a red carpet and were like, Mr. Key, we have so many questions about Wonka. I've never heard him just referred to his last name, and that was crazy.
It was wild. Yeah, I forgot that you break down any individual part of that name. Yeah, it has to be the line. Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key. Here is a great quote that leads us to some of the significance of his character. On Timothy Chalamet, he said, he has 7 musical numbers and I have 2. One of them is a group number and another one is a smaller group number. So they're both group numbers.
Nice. Yeah. Ensemble versus duo or something?
Yes, I would assume. I would agree with all the adjectives Timothy used, and I would like to add the words wondrous and a little bit epic. It's a nice, big, full, beautiful piece of art. And Paul King, who directed it, is a delightful human being who has this wonderful childlike heart. He was the perfect person to direct this project. So, like, the people working on Wonka fucking love Wonka.
Yeah, these are very, these seem happy. This seems like a little outside of just PR saying shit.
Yeah, no, it seems to be genuinely quite nice. So now he's given his own take on Timothy Chalamet's performance, which is a big deal. And this is interesting. There's this wonderful effortlessness about how he plays Wonka, not to mention the fact that there's a hopeful quality that he gives the character, a kind of indomitable quality that he'll never quit. He's always up for the next thing. He's like, okay, if that didn't work out, we'll do this and try something else. Which is not a trait I would assign to Wonka.
No. Interesting.
So does his spirit get broken over the next 20 odd years?
Yeah,
can this please start at Wonka 2023 and then be a 6-film saga where it ends at The Godfather? Do I want to do this podcast for that long? Not really. But if it was going to have that payoff, I would. But I think it's interesting. I think all I want is just for him to snap at some moment. There has to be some underlying anger to this Wonka. Yes. Otherwise, I'm going to feel a little there's this part of me that worries that we're going to watch this movie and be like, that was great, but that wasn't Wonka. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, I'm trying to be open-minded in terms of, Paul King is going to want to keep the essence of the Wonka everybody likes, but I feel still confident that he will kind of make this a very distinct own new Wonka.
Yes.
I feel like.
I don't mind it being distinct, but I do think if there's a little bit of that, every Wonka has some element of weird deep-seated anger and ego.
Yes.
And if that is not there,
yeah.
I guess it's I think that's more my thing. If he has no ego, I can't.
He can't be. He cannot literally be Paddington.
That's what I mean. I just don't want another Paddington. It doesn't.
He needs to be a human that's getting normal, angry and stuff, and can still be whimsical, fantastical. I want a broken Wonka.
Yes.
Make him
cry
sad.
in the mirror.
Cry, little bitch, cry. Cry over your candy. This is the last
thing he said. And Timothy Chalamet, what can I say? Sacre bleu. What? And then he says, the kid, he drips charisma and a wonderful confidence. He's really just a delicious artist. Get out of here, Keegan-Michael Key.
Keegan-Michael Key.
You're having too much fun.
You little jokester.
You little rascal.
Oh,
go on. What are you doing?
Little goober.
So tired. So that's what we've learned. We've learned Nice. Keegan-Michael Key has 2 songs.
Confirmed again, Timmy has 7.
Yes. So people aren't getting the number wrong. It's correct. And that's pretty much it.
How many songs does Hugo Loompa have?
If he ends up with fucking 0, you're gonna lose your mind. He's gotta have at least 2.
At least like one of like those like scenes after the movie.
The rain on the roof go. I rewatched that scene actually earlier today.
It kind of lives rent free in my head.
It's so fucking good. He should have been nominated for an Oscar for that, and I believe that wholeheartedly. All right, everybody, get your little pillows. Get all snuggled up. Grab your favorite teddy bear. Ooh. I genuinely just got set. I'm gonna grab a fucking teddy bear.
Okay, I have a whole teapot.
Do you have Fickle Grabber?
I do. I'll grab them.
Get in your jammies. Drink a glass of hot milk.
Ooh. You know, I tried hot milk once because everyone talked so much about it. And when I drink it, honest to God, that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever fucking drank in my entire life. And I have drinking a Natty Light seltzer. And let me tell you guys, don't fuck with that one either. Hot milk and Natty Light seltzer.
Right.
I've got Fickle Grabber. His little hat is not here today. Where it popped off. And when he goes to sleep, he takes off his hat. But his little bow tie is still there.
Beautiful.
Oh, if you're new, I have a stuffed animal frog that Felicia gave me for my birthday that is to represent Fickle Grabber.
Yeah.
Who we've decided is a frog.
Mm-hmm. As he should be. I have the niche Disney Parks character Shelly May. Not a Disney character, a Disney Parks character.
Oh.
She's the female counterpart to Duffy the Disney Bear, who's a bear that Minnie sewed for Mickey as he was going out on a sailing trip. They're real big in Tokyo Disneyland, and there's one called, I think, Pierre, who has a really cute little artist palette that I have always wanted and will never be able to get my hands on. But this is Shelly May.
Everything about you is niche. And I love it. There is no, here is my teddy bear.
There's no general knowledge.
There is nothing generic about you. And I love it. There is nothing in your room that doesn't have some chaotic story with a chaotic history background to it.
I'm sitting here and I've got a fucking Gerard Way painting over my left shoulder and a giant yellow Rocky Horror Picture Show poster on my right.
Which also someone noted the Gerard on TikTok, which I
noted it from like a sliver of an eye.
Fucking hilarious to me.
And I was like, I'm glad that like the painting I did when I was 14 is still doing it today.
Amazing.
All right, now that we're all tucked in, we've got our little stuffed animals and we can all snuggle up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this sleep story. So right out of the bat, let's say this is for children. And the aim of Calm is to have mildly boring stories to put you to sleep. It's made to help kids fall asleep, but not made to hold up to intense Wonka Scholar scrutiny. And I want to recognize and respect that right here, right now.
Understand the context.
However, are we still going to rip it to shreds? Yes, we will, because we can.
I brought my knives.
So the most notable thing is this Wonka was voiced by Henry Golding. Do you have any familiarity with Henry Golding?
Not that
he was in Crazy Rich Asians. He was I believe the main love interest in it. He's been in a lot of rom-coms. He was in Last Christmas, which is one of the most fucking insane movies to ever exist.
Oh, that is a whole side thing that we should discuss at some point.
I haven't seen it, but I know about it.
Oh, so much. Okay, yes, he's a beautiful man. Yes, I recognize. Yep.
I will say, notably, our first non-white Wonka. Big deal. Like, legit. It's our first non-white Wonka,
Hank Wonka. Look at that.
Hank Wonka?
Well, Henry, so we made it Hank.
Is Hank short for Henry?
Mm-hmm. Hank is a nickname derived from Henry.
Whoa.
Facts.
That's fucking crazy.
You know what's fucked up? Peggy comes from Margaret.
Yeah, that is fucked.
That's fucked.
Anyway, but also Henry Golding is British.
Ooh.
So we get another British Wonka.
Ooh.
So it is around 37 minutes long in total, And it took me way too long to listen to it because, of course, it's a sleep app, so you can't speed it up. But God, I wish I could have.
Oh, I bet that ruined your life.
I'm like, why can't I put this on 0.2 speed? And I'm like, well, it's because it's meant to fall asleep, you fucking
When
idiot.
I was visiting Felicia and she pulled up her YouTube to show me something and she started hitting play and it was on like 1.75 speed. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That's
and
baby shit. I normally have it in 2 or 2.5.
Which is...
And I told one of my coworkers that I watch movies that way too, and they acted like it was the worst thing they've ever heard in their entire life, which like I respect and I understand how I understand. If there's something that needs to be slowed down, I'll slow it down. But if they're just walking slowly across a room melancholically, they can do it twice as fast. It doesn't matter. How am I going to get through? If I was in film class and I could have watched Citizen Kane on 2 times speed, I think I would have rated it a star higher. I'm going to be honest.
Wow. I feel spicy when I put my audiobooks on like 1.75. I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling kooky today. So I didn't even realize I knew you could speed up YouTube videos, but it never occurred to me that I could just casually do that for my own
No,
sake,
I have a whole browser extension for it because YouTube doesn't go far enough.
I have no further comments.
So he introduces himself and he's like, chances are you've heard of me. Heard about Charlie Bucket's adventures through my incredible chocolate factory. So this takes place, I assume this takes place like after giving the Charlie the factory, and it actually takes place immediately after giving Charlie the factory.
Oh, wow.
And kind of erases the Great Glass Elevator a little bit.
Oh, thank God.
He has a glass elevator, but it's different. But then he's like, have you heard about the other room in the factory? The one where dreams become a reality. Tonight, I will take you to that room.
I'm so excited.
Like, but first, you have to grab the right ingredients for dream making. So this is basically like getting into the way of like, stretch out your legs and your arms and then relax.
Oh, that classic. Was there my question is.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Do you want to know if there was a calming, soothing backing track music? Because there was.
I want to know if they made you imagine light going through, a golden warm light going through your legs.
No.
Because every time that happens, or they're like, imagine warmth going through your legs. I'm like, I'm a fucking hot dog. I would like to imagine ice shooting through me. I want to be frozen. And when I think of lights, I'm like, this is too bright. And then I feel like I get distracted and I go, shit, I have to start back of my shins. I didn't pay attention when it was supposed to be crawling up my back and then going through my arms. I'm like, fuck, I can't pay attention. I'm one of those people who gets stressed when I try to do calming things. So
yeah, same.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear
that's actually was a big anxiety hack for me when I realized, when people are having anxiety attacks, they go like, play calming music. No, give me fucking death grips. I don't want calming music when I'm stressed.
Get it out. Give
me death metal. Let me funnel it.
Yes.
Anyway,
right there with
he said, stretch out your legs and arms like gooey taffy. Wriggle your fingers and toes like jellied sweets. Disgusting. I hated that.
That's awful.
Nestle your head in your softest pillow. Maybe even pretend it's stuffed with marshmallows. Then take a deep breath through your nose. Wait, can you smell that mouth-watering scent? That's chocolate mixed by waterfall. Welcome to Charlie and the Dream Factory. He didn't do that big of a thing, but I had to pause at this point because I thought we were the main character in the story and it was going to be kind of like a self-insert, but it turns out it is actually about Charlie. And I was like, okay, fair enough. That's my false assumptions coming in. But I was kind of disappointed. I was like, damn.
Yeah, interesting.
I thought I was going to self-insert here. This begins the story proper, which is essentially just like a chapter of a book. So this is set right after the factory tour. Charlie does not want to go to sleep because he had just had the best day of his life as Wonka's factory. He just kind of lists a bunch of the Wonka factory attractions. He's like, I went to the chocolate room. And then I went to the nut room. Because it's like trying to drag it out to make you fall asleep. Charlie thought my factory was the most fantastical place he had ever seen, and I was inclined to agree. So we got some good Wonka ego here. Like it's still got the character. And then he said, this was wild. I could see my words dancing through the boy's head, giving him a warm, buttery feeling. Soon the entire factory will become yours. So can he read Charlie's mind? I know I'm taking that literally. And this is also set like immediately after the factory tour. Like immediately.
Also, a weird thing. I know that it makes sense for Wonka to describe everything as like candy and food. For some reason, I know butter goes in a lot of that shit, but him just saying butter as a thing, I was like, butter is too salty. And it's not. Like, you know what I mean? But like for some reason, the candy jelly fingers, and then suddenly butter, I would sit up straight in my bed and go, butter?
Yes. So Charlie and his whole family are at the factory and getting sleepy because it was a long day. And Wonka's like, don't worry, I've got just the thing, babes. And then he says,
don't worry, babes, I got you.
I've got you, babes.
I got you, babes.
The tail of my plum-colored velvet coat flapping behind me. So here's the thing. Ooh, this is the first time we've ever heard Wonka speak in the first person. Wonka never narrates a Wonka story. And that was the really unprecedented thing about this.
That's so true.
You never hear Wonka's point of view. And I was like, as a podcast, I feel like we should reuse this as an unreliable narrator situation. He's completely controlling this narrative and we never get inside of his head. So like, as much as we could take it as face value, I feel like we need to have some balance where it's like all the grandparents were like super fucking bitchy and stupid. It's like, okay, well, are you projecting?
Right.
Like,
yes.
And the whole like, the tails of my plum-colored velvet coat flapping behind me. It's like, what is a self-insert fan fiction you are writing, Mr. Wonka?
It's like there's a tiny breeze as you walk and there's this mustard stain on you or something. Sorry, a butter stain on you.
Yeah. So he's like, let me take you to a room not on the tour. But Charlie's not paying attention. He's thinking about how his grandparents are stuck in the bed. Wonka gives a recap here and is like... so he gives a recap of the story for people who hadn't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because presumably there are kids who haven't and their parents just like throw it on. And he says, until they found the fifth golden ticket, and so they told me, danced around with Grandpa Joe, which really made it seem like he was like surveilling them, but did not want to reveal that. Do you know what I mean?
They happened to tell me.
And they told me this. They told me this. They can't say they didn't tell me this.
2 hours we've known each other. It immediately came up.
And I've given them no room to speak to me. So Grandma Georgina does call out Wonka, as she always does. And she says, what did I tell you? It's the middle of the night, and the man wants us to go cartwheeling through the factory. He's as correct as a walnut.
Cartwheeling.
And then Wonka says, I don't have time for such nonsense, which is like characterization is accurate.
That's
Charlie gets on Wonka's side and is like, yeah, Grandma, how you gonna see it if you don't get out of bed, bitch?
The grooming begins.
I know. He's becoming him. But then Grandpa Joe is like, no, Charlie, like, we're all really fucking tired. If I don't get to sleep, this is a real quote. Grandpa Joe said, I'm afraid I'll go tumbling into the chocolate river like Augustus Gloop. And then Wonka's like, all right, fair enough. I don't want any Joe-flavored chocolate-coated buckets.
For now.
Joe-flavored chocolate-coated buckets. It was so fucking clunky.
That's a lot, yeah.
Let's hear it one more time. Joe-flavored chocolate-coated buckets. What are we doing?
The Joe-flavored chocolate-coated buckets?
It should be chocolate-coated. It should be chocolate-coated Joe-flavored buckets, right?
Yes. It's like saying Joe motherfucking buckets, you know. It's like Joe chocolate covered bucket. I can't even say it. It's too much.
Joe flavored chocolate coated buckets,
which makes it perfect for Wonka. That's the exact shit.
You know, there's that whole thing where it's like there's an adjective order we use that's not a grammatical rule, but we all use the same order. I think that breaks it. I don't know for sure, but I feel like it does.
It does. I mean, he hasn't been in society in like 5 to 20 years, depending on your canon. So. You know.
So, this Wonka has a beard. Wee-oo. That was my initial. That was just all I wrote for that one.
Wee-oo.
Beard all alert. Capitals too.
Facial
So he's
hair.
like, your bed fucking sucks. Do you want a chocolate bed for the night? I can make you a chocolate bed. And Grandma Georgina says, no, I don't want to wake up in a puddle of melted chocolate, which like fair.
Yeah, ew. No.
So they find a nice spot for the bed for now. And then are like, but Wonka's like, let's go to one cool room to dream up a new bed for your grandparents. I think I kind of lost the plot. There also wasn't a transcript, which again, why would there be a transcript for a sheet story? But I would have fucking loved it. I'm going to be honest.
Oh my God.
What?
A caffeinated mattress?
Oh my God. I forgot about the caffeinated mattress. I have not thought about that.
Oh wow. God. The caffeinated mattress could happen in this reality in this Wonka verse.
When did we even talk about the caffeinated mattress?
So that was when we were coming up with our own candies.
Okay.
And so we came up with a caffeinated mattress. I'm caffeine free, and we decided if I sat on it, I would die.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I have honestly been re-listening to some episodes of Wonka Watch, and I have no memory of what we talked about in any of them anymore.
Oh, no. Yeah, I forget it the second. And then, like, Wonka Scholars will message us about something. I'm like, did I say that? I don't remember
like,
that.
I'll
but
see
that
a new
sounds
episode
right.
out, and I'm like, what the fuck did we talk about in that one? I'm like, I edited that 2 weeks ago. We just put that out.
Same thing happens to me.
So they head to that room, and on the way, they say the remnants of the other kids, but they are alive. Let's be clear. The other children are alive.
Just remnants is an awful description.
Well, I used that description. I did that. They just saw like the traces, I guess.
Okay. That's still not great.
There was a sticky trail of blueberry juice from the living room.
I hope you fall to sleep as you think about the
squirrel sauntering out of the nut room.
Oh,
the scent of strawberry flavored chocolate coated fudge. See, that's the correct. But see, strawberry flavored chocolate coated fudge, but Joe flavored chocolate coated buckets is fucked up.
It's so confusing.
It's right there, but it's wrong the other way. But he said, luckily without a pinch of Augustus, which, like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then there was a hole in the ceiling from the stretched out mic TV.
A hole? Like he had to be stretched so high there was a hole, or like?
Yeah.
He like sat up.
He didn't have to. They just kind of fucked it up.
I feel like they have a lot of tall ceilings in there, so that's a little confusing to me. But anyway.
Okay, so we're at the room. This is confusing. I don't really know if I understood this. It was a circular door with a lollipop design on it that also has clocks. I don't know how the clocks are integrated. I think they explained it, but I didn't get it.
That's a lot, yeah.
So the door is made of candy that can withstand the test of time and are called clockable locks that no one can crack unless you know the hour and the minute to set the times to. So he spins all these clocks around a bunch and makes Charlie confused about the actual time.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That it is. And then we get the most metal fucking line, perhaps in any Wonka media, I'm going to go out and say.
Oh.
Except for like it was like hell without heat, you know?
Yes.
This is up there.
You see, Charlie, I said, time is like taffy. In the right hands, it can be stretched every which way.
That is so ominous.
It's so ominous.
Oh my god, that's the start of a 10-book series.
Now you've heard what this Wonka is like, and I feel like he didn't turn off rom-com lead voice in this.
No,
it feels like, and I know this is meant for children, but it felt like intimate, not in like a good or bad
was
way.
It scary, erotic Wonka?
It almost, not really. Like certain times I'm like, I don't feel like I should be listening to this. Like, I don't feel okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I completely understand.
And I don't want it to sound weird because I'm not trying to make this kids media perverse.
No,
but
it's just
you heard the voice. You heard the voice.
It's
you
like
get
when Tom Hiddleston reads anything, I'm like, this just feels sexual. You know?
Yeah, like if you read the phone book, I'd be like, I feel like I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, like, can I play this out loud? I don't think so. You know?
Like if Matthew McConaughey read it, it wouldn't be weird. You know, like I wouldn't have that same feeling because I don't have, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, maybe. But, you know, like
it would
there's definitely people who could read it and I wouldn't feel like that about it. But I'm like, he's a rom-com lead. It's not fucking weird. And he's whispering like this. Like it's basically meant to be pillow talk. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like
You're not wrong. You are not wrong on any of this.
So I was like, I just need to say that. We're probably gonna need to cut a lot of it out for it to make sense, but like you get it, you know?
I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, you see Charlie, time is like taffy in the right hands, it can be stretched every which way. It's one of the most fucking metal Wonka lines we've gotten. Like that makes this seem way cooler.
It is one
and
thing to have access to hell. Okay.
We need to make a good collection of the insane lines because that one is the best one.
Oh, that would be good.
And then it was like hell without heat.
Yeah. Like
the glass elevator was fucking crazy.
PTSD Wonka is, a time. I'm so tired.
I don't know how that relates to it either. But okay. So I have a thing honestly titled The Room. So there's a big glass dome ceiling from which you can see the stars, and in the center is a giant machine made of pink, wispy, cotton candy looking material. The machine is larger than Charlie's house. So just get that.
What? That's not saying much, I guess. He lived in like a 2-plywood, like Home Depot shed.
Yeah.
But damn, okay.
Tinted stained glass pipes connect. Charlie lived in like a mini golf set piece. Anyway, tinted stained glass set pieces. Nope. Tinted stained glass pipes connect a bunch of mechanical stuff. And in the middle is a velvet armchair the same color as Wonka's green pants. There's also a bunch of drawers and cabinets hidden in the cotton candy. And Wonka says, this is the mind-o-matter machine. Basically, it records dreams and uses them as an ingredient for something real.
I want to pause and just say that the like visual descriptions, I could see that so well. I love the idea of stained glass pipes. Like I could see that chair. And now we've also entered like a weird Professor X territory. Now,
I realized I put a timestamp above I meant to play because it was him sassing Grandma Georgina back.
Oh, get it.
It was at 6 minutes.
If I don't get some sleep, I'm afraid I might go tumbling into the...
He didn't do different voices for the different characters, which I understand would take you out of it, but I would have loved
I
it.
shook my head aghast. We simply cannot have that. No Joe-flavored chocolate-coated buckets.
I fucking hate it. I didn't think that's what the timestamp was, but I guess.
In the bed, frowning, then stroked my beard.
Okay, do you see what I mean?
Yes.
That part. Yeah, this one more time. Not that I want to.
Joe-flavored chocolate-coated bucket.
I fucking hate that.
Get you some sleep.
This.
I examined the bed, frowning, then stroked my beard. I do worry that this honorable old pile of box springs is on the verge of collapse.
This feels... You know what? Listening to it gave me the exact same feeling as listening to the pottery scene in that fan fiction you wrote, where like nothing technically about it is bad, but it felt wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like if I was in a back in school in a writing class and we were doing peer review, I would
say, can you make it a little less sensual?
Yeah. And then everyone like would look at me weird and I'd be like, look, I'm right. And I will be the person to say what we're all thinking.
Yeah. So Wonka says, this is the mind-o-matter machine. So that's what he makes. Okay. Basically, it records dreams and uses them as an ingredient to make something real. So then he gets an eatable marshmallow. That's dangerous. Yeah. And that's the
dangerous.
Thing. That is fucking crazy. So then he gets an eatable marshmallow pillow. And he kept saying eatable.
Oh, no.
And I didn't like it. I did not like the eatable.
No, edible.
Please, I was begging him. Please say edible, please. Basically, he says it's a good conductor for dreams. So then Wonka sits on the chair and closes his eyes. And I'm like, dude, the one time you try something first is when you have a young child in need of sleep in front of you. And you said, let me take a quick run.
Me first, though. Me firsty.
So the machine boots up and projects Wonka's dreams onto the dome. And it's this big field filled with big grass and some brown creatures in it. His words, not mine. And then the projection stops and a thick, luxurious substance puffs out from the machine, coating the room with sleepy fog.
This sounds like one of our going through the factory episodes.
No, it made me feel
better. Which made me feel pretty good.
And you ready? Because this is like a legume level plot twist. The fog was chocolate scented and then it clears to reveal a chocolate goat.
Oh, a goat.
Wonka says, another goat with a sigh. Which was the highlight of this. To know that goat. Wonka keeps fucking dreaming up chocolate goats is very good and inspired.
All these abandoned bastard chocolate goats left.
Oh, we touch on the goats. Don't worry. We touch on the goats.
Oh, no.
But he basically is able to dream while half awake. So he wasn't falling asleep. He was like in this like twilight state, but kept dreaming about goats. And he says, that's the thing about dreams. No matter how much I try to calibrate the machine, you can't control what you dream of. And the goats keep eating his coats. It was for a good rhyming thing.
So Wonka has like a thing about goats. Like
he has like 100 fucking goats.
It sounds like a stress reaction is goat.
Yeah, it's like he has this, let's think about this. He has a perfect field with everything perfect in it.
Uh-huh.
But there's a fucking goat there. And that goat's going to fuck up his field. And it's his fear that his factory will be ruined in some capacity.
I don't know why. I don't think about this often, but I just don't see Wonka having ever met a goat. You know?
Hold on. What does a goat mean in dreams? This is good.
Fuck yes.
Did you see a goat in a dream? Find out what it means from thepleasantdream.com.
Oh, sounds valid.
Are you seeing a goat in your dream? It can mean several things, like a warning, a prediction, or simply a reassurance about your waking life. In the end, it is an important message, possibly an important message from your subconscious, and you must not overlook it. Okay, so here are...
Which is why it keeps coming back, because the one thing we know is Wonka is not introspective.
Yeah, no. It has a nice little infographic here. Let's look at this. Dream of goat, meaning of some goat dreams. White goat means fortune, white health, and peace. Wealth, health, and peace. Black goat means unforeseen hardship in your life. Milking goats means nourishment, happiness, fertility, and fortune. Goat chasing you, your ill deeds haunting you. Goat standing on a mountaintop, a new beginning. Riding a goat is unanticipated meeting with someone, and feeding a goat is a warning sign of someone's goat. Okay, 71 types of goat dreams.
There's two kinds of people in this world.
How are there 71?
Those who dream of goats and those who do not.
Do they have dreams about a herd of goats? A herd of goats represents approaching luck in your waking life. Dreams about goats near your house. Dreams about a goat grazing. This is what he had. A view of a grazing goat in your dream is an indication of dissatisfaction with your personal life, professional life, and financial situation.
Oh, that's an ouchie.
But that is interesting considering this is when he's about to get rid of the factory.
It's a big turning point.
Brown goat in a dream. Elaine, if you saw a brown goat in your dream, it might be an indication of a recovery from a past trauma from your childhood. Meow, 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 meow. It can also imply that you're attending to your physical health and appearance while neglecting your emotional and spiritual needs, and you much care for that too.
It is all true. Hey. Wow. That's a bummer for Wonka and hilarious to me.
Dream of goats grazing in your courtyard.
That's
dream of goat stealing. Dream about someone else stealing your goat. Spiritually, goat dreams are symbolic of negative energy or evil forces in your life. This is the longest fucking article I've ever seen on the internet. Okay.
Well, that was a fun deep dive into goat dreams.
Ask yourself to interpret goat dreams correctly. Where was the goat in his dream and what was it doing? What color goat did you see in your dream? How did you feel about the goat in your dream? Were you trading the goat? Did you sell it or buy it? Did you get the goat from someone or give it to another person? Were there baby goats? How many goats were there? Was it a fat goat or was it a thin goat? Did you see anything edible related to a goat, like milk, cheese, or meat? Did the goat have horns? Was about to attack you or another being? And what's the significance of goats in your religion?
I swear to God, if I have a dream about a goat now, because we've talked about this so fucking much, it's going to be a goat and then it's going to be my dog battling each other.
Scroll down to the bottom and the suggested article was it, did you wake up to a dream, boobs? Did you wake up to a dream boobs?
We have to come back. I'm bringing you back. I'm throwing you a rope. Come out of this cavern. Come to me. Come back to me, Felicia.
Pleasantdreams.com. That was incredible. Okay, so
he's dreamed of a little chocolate goat.
And Wonka's like, Charlie is so tired. I don't know if he's really getting it, but like, it's fine. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, which is what he says verbatim.
Nice.
Also, some of the machine is edible with licorice, so that's cool. This Wonka was like, no, I need you to understand, everything is made of candy. And I mean fucking everything. Like, I feel like the other Wonkas weren't that militant about it, you know?
Yeah.
He gave Charlie an emergency whistle made of mint and lemon candy, but all he has to do is sleep and dream. With that, he scoops up his newest chocolate goat with one arm and leaves, but he stays just outside the door just because like he wanted to know what would happen next and like be there if there was an emergency. But he was like, Charlie, you can do it yourself, kind of like to motivate him. It's cute. He kept saying he said eatable marshmallow pillow again, and then it was like, please. And then Charlie goes, I'm not so sure, Mr. Wonka. And then he falls asleep.
Aww.
And then Wonka is peeking through the door with a little candy telescope, which is very funny. Did it need to be candy? No. Not at all. That's way worse, actually.
It's ridiculous. I love it.
So let's talk about Charlie's dreamland. So Charlie dreams of his house floating up through the air and into the chocolate factory. The house all dissolved except for the bed with the grandparents, and the bed then floated through the factory. So they were like floating on the bed. The bed just becomes like really fucking cool. There's animals on the bedpost and the pillows get all fluffy and the sheets become a bunch of cool colors. And then the bed gets these everlasting gobstopper wheels that are basically like a rolly chair, like an office chair, so that it can roll side to side, front, and do whatever you want.
Love that.
So then the bed becomes real because of the machine, and it rolls down from the ceiling onto the floor and bumps up in the chair where Charlie's sleeping. And Wonka says he's seen this 100 times before, so he does this a lot. And then I wrote, how many goats, Wonka? I want to know.
How many goats?
So the bed starts rolling up around towards the ceiling like it wanted to explore space, like my great glass elevator. So he's been to space.
Okay.
They made a glass elevator reference, which I was like, oh God. But, you know, basically, you know that dream I was telling you about before we recorded where my car was in a thing, like a skate park?
Yes.
And it was jumping up higher and higher either side and wouldn't stop. Yeah, that was because of this fucking story. I'm not joking. It fucked me up. I listened to this at like 9 a.m. and it still messed me up like 2 days later. So basically, it just kind of goes like a pendulum across the glass. I don't really understand this. I'm not going to lie. I don't really understand what happened here. And even Wonka's like, this is a bad idea. The way I thought about it was like if you dropped a tiny ball into a skate rink and then it just kept gaining momentum is what I was kind of understanding.
Yeah.
So then he wills Charlie to remember the whistle. He's like, come on, Charlie, remember the whistle. And I sent those thoughts to him, and which is wild, and it works. So Charlie blows the whistle and Wonka makes a big pile of his half-eaten coats so that the bed stops. And Wonka tells Charlie, I've never seen someone with such powerful dreams. Charlie made a feeling, freewheeling bed made for comfort and mobility.
Charlie's Divergent.
What?
The Divergent series. I just imagine I don't know why that just hit me. I was like, Charlie's Divergent.
I was like, but how does that connect? I was
you know, I don't know. People sleeping in dreams and shit. 4 hours of sleep, baby.
Wonka says, perhaps dreams are more powerful when they are trying to help others. And then he says, I grinned an especially Wonka grin. Fucking crazy for you to say that about yourself.
Yes.
Like, imagine if I was like, and then I laughed and especially Felicia laughed. That's bad.
That's not
Don't
great.
say that.
That's why you're dreaming of goats, yeah.
So he basically says, your new home is here and we can call it Charlie and the Dream Factory. So it almost seems like he implied that it was getting renamed and that Charlie's whole ability here and how he continues the Wonka empire is by doing dream-based humanitarian acts.
Sounds like we're leading into a Matrix situation.
It's over. So he says, Charlie and the Dream Factory, and it's like, done. It was like, title drop, get out.
Like, oh.
We only booked Henry Golding for an hour. We got to get him out.
Wow.
So Henry Wonka, he's interesting. I don't feel like I know Henry Wonka, really.
Good old Hank, yeah.
Honka.
Actually, Hunka kind of works. I mean, Hunka works. He's pretty, he's a hunk. And he has earned his hunk status. So
Hunka Wonka. Okay.
Here's a little sticker for you, Hunka.
Good job. So I was just thinking about, like, imagine if you had a fucking nightmare. And then I came up with this whole thing where, like, Wonka had a nightmare about the Ganoolies and accidentally brought them to life. And that's how Minus Limb was created, which would make more sense than whatever the fuck, like, he just has access to that. You know what I mean? I buy that more.
Uh-huh.
But that's it. I don't really know what we gained from this. We learned a lot about goats and dreams.
We did. And I feel like it's always refreshing to hear, like, this was people presumably in 2022 wrote this and did this, right? So it's just interesting to see who other modern Wonka scholars taking in the historical moments now and how they're interpreting it as well. And to see that we are kind of right on par with the chaos we create.
We could have written this.
Yeah. And we have, in a way, you know? Like
now, they really could have just gone and taken one of the shit we wrote. Like, we wouldn't have sued, you know? We would have been happy.
I would have been pissed.
But, like, you know.
I would have been like, oh, it was good enough to steal? That's nice. And then I would have
Imagine if you had a Henry Golding reading of your Grandpa Joe Wonka story. It would be like obscene. Number one, I think
I would fall asleep to it every night.
I think you
it would break the internet. It could break the internet.
Yeah, that would break the internet. You're right. That would go fucking.
Everybody start tweeting at Hanka. Well, Felicia, nap, sleepy. Any dreams of predictions?
Dreams of oh fuck.
Yet again, snoozing on the idea that we do predictions every episode.
I'm gonna say Timmy Wonka will dramatically wake up.
Ooh, that's good.
You know, and that sounds like a nothing prediction sometimes. Also, I don't know if I meant it to. I do need to air you out for this on the podcast. In our prediction review, episode 50, you gave me a lot of fucking flack for put foil around the chocolate bar. And we talked about like how like, oh, you know, I probably said it like this and Elaine probably razzed me for it in the moment. I went back to that episode. What did you say after I said, oh, I think it'll be a chocolate bar covered in foil? You went, I love it. You bitch!
I lied. I'm a dirty, dirty liar. Everything I say, you will never know if it's the truth, Caesar.
Anyway, but yeah, I think he will like dramatically wake up, and I don't just mean like he'll be like a, you know what I mean, like a big, like his hair will be all crazy, and it'll be like, but into the camera, you know.
I love this, and I'm going to piggyback off that. I think we're going to have a scene where someone is like on their side, resting on a pillow, kind of looking sad, and the camera like zooms out as they're falling asleep. But it's like a sad night. You know what I mean? That scene where it's like a night thing, and it's like, and I don't care who it is. It can be anybody.
Someone looks sad, and then the camera pans out to the night sky.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, well, that was good. I feel like that was a good prediction. I feel like we're getting our groove back a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of that predictions episode, I went back through our episode 2 where we made a lot of predictions about the cast. Turns out there were 19 predictions within that episode alone. So I'm redoing the prediction spreadsheet so it's very accurate when we finally do we do our big tally up, because our last one was like kind of iffy. But I'm excited for when that day comes, which is a long time from now, but it's fun. And now we have actually a buy me a coffee segment, because we've had a donation from one Will L. Thank you, Will L.
Thanks, Will.
We really appreciate it. And as you all know, if you decide to donate to our buy me a coffee, we will do a little song.
Felicia's my one-person band person.
I put in the drop zone, Will L suggested some lyrics for you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Felicia's brought out the bass.
The bass guitar.
Nice.
Hey, Will. Thanks for donating to the podcast. I got a jazzy little tune for you. Wonka. Wonka, Wonka. Chonka. Chonka, chonka. Wonka. Chonka. Stonka, Wonka, chonka, stonka, Wonka. Wonka, Wonka, chonka. Chonka, chonka, Wonka. Chonka, stonka. Wonka. Good. Chocolate good. Skibbity-babba-doo. Skibbity-boo-boo-ski. Wonka, chonka. You got the Wonka.
And that's the stonker. Yeah, man.
Wonka, 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 chunka, stonka.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow, you can do that really well.
You know what's great is that my friends are over, and they for fucking sure just heard that with no context whatsoever. So that's nice. I mean, they hear a lot of chaos usually, but man, that would be.
I will say, turned out better on my end than I thought it would.
That was great. That was great. Yeah, we got bass Felicia, so thank you, Will, for supplying
I played an actual instrument.
Amazing lyrics.
So yes, thank you again, Will L. Your contribution will now be being used to pay for an
I did
audiobook.
forget. Hold on. Wonka Chonka Stonka. And then also, here's a $5 was at the end of that. My bad, Will. Hold on. Wonka Chonka Stonka. Here's a $5. There we go. Thrown in there. I blacked out. I was having I don't know. I entered a different I as I do with all of these, I left my body. So,
well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Wonka Watch. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you didn't fall asleep in the middle halfway through because it was just so fucking soothing.
Dream of goats.
If you like this episode and you want to follow us, check us out on Instagram at Wonka Watch and on TikTok at Wonka Watch. I forgot what other platform we're on. You can also email us at wonkarapture@gmail.com if you want to tell us about something. I don't know. It's cool. We love it. If you want to donate to the podcast and help fund our weird audiobook we want to make, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch. You can buy us a chocolate bar on there. And we will make you a little ditty like that. You can write your message if you want us to read it out. We'll read it most of the time. Just common sense.
Yeah. If you got genre preferences, you can throw them out there. We may or may not do it. Depends.
Yeah. We make no promises, but the intention is there. But we will always do a song. We will always do a song. At the end of the day,
putting our heads on our pillows. Our eatable pillows.
I don't dream about Wonka most of the time. Thanks to the rescinded segment Felicia's Wonka Dream Palace that had a single appearance on the podcast.
Yes, as we close our eyes,
we hopefully don't dream of Wonka because it's not that important.
It is so not that important.
Honk shoe, me. Notice I didn't say wonk shoe, and that's what someone who thought Wonka was important would do.
I thought you were saying hunka, and I didn't know. No, I was like, are you hunka? And then Beaker the Muppet, honka.
You don't know the honk shoe, me.
No, I do.
I was mixing the sleep styles.
That I'm with you now.
Yeah, you shouldn't I feel like when you take when there's those online trendy mattress companies and they're take this quiz to figure out what mattresses work with you, it should really give you your diagnosed honk shoe or Mimi. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I love that. Are you a honk shoe or Mimi? There's two kinds of people in the world, and it's not that important.
Are you a honk shoe or are you a Mimi?
Me. Bye.